What up, YouTube? You already know Big Lou tapping back in. One more again. But what it do? Big Lou NFZR2. Baby, baby. Bye. So check it out. Um, I don't know if you can tell from that thumbnail if you can read what it says there, but that's the stage, not the stage, but the desk reporting on the 1981 NFL draft. Right now, the draft, um, that draft was particularly special because you had it was a lot of well known guys, not at the time coming out of school because they're amateurs, but you know, fast forward to the future, once they put down you know magnificent careers. It was a defensive side of the ball draft. Like we got some of the baddest um, position players on the defensive end that are considered creme de la creme, if you get what I'm saying. Top notch guys. These guys are on the all decades teams, and for uh, at least one of them is on the all time NFL team. Period. You know what I'm saying? Um, 75th and 100th anniversary. So let me run down real quick. So Lawrence Taylor was drafted second, obviously linebacker out of North Carolina, Tar Heel. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion. He's the NFL MVP of 1986. He's a three-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 1981, 82, and 86. NFL Rookie of the Year in 81. Two-time UPI NFC Player of the Year, 83 and 86. He's an eight-time first-team All-Pro, 1981 through 86, 88, and 89. He's a two-time second-team All-Pro, 87 and 90. He's a 10-time Pro Bowler, um, NFL sacks leader, 1986, NFL All 80s Decade Team. He's on the NFL All 75th Anniversary Team and 100th Anniversary Team. He was the All Rookie Team 1981. His number 56 is retired. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Um, he finished his career with 1,088 tackles, 132 and a half sacks, 11 fumble recoveries, nine interceptions, and two defensive touchdowns. Okay, number 8 pick from USC, defensive back, was Ronnie Lott. He's a 4-time NFL champion. He's an 8-time first team All Pro, 88, 83, 84, 85, 86, and 91. He's a 10-time Pro Bowler, 1981, 82, 83, 84, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91. He's a two-time interception leader, 86 and 91. NFL combined tackles leader, 1982. NFL forced fumbles co-leader, 1982. He's on the NFL All 80s Decade Team and All 90s Decade Team. He's also a member of the 75th and 100th Anniversary All-Time NFL Teams. He was on the All-Rookie Team as well in 1981 along with LT. He's got a total of 1,146 tackles, 63 interceptions. He's got 730 yards returned on interceptions. He's got 16 forced fumbles. He's got 17 fumble recoveries. He's got 5 touchdowns, and he's a member of both the college and the Pro Football Hall of Fames. Right? Jamesbrooks, drafted 24th, running back out of Auburn. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler, 86, 88, 89, 90. NFL kickoff return yards leader, 1982. Rushing yards, almost 8,000. He's got 7,962. His average per carry is almost 5 yards a carry, 4.7. And he had 49 touchdowns. Right? The 38th pick overall, Michael Singletary, linebacker out of Baylor. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 85 and 88. He's the NFL Man of the Year 1990. He's a 7-time first team All Pro 1984, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 91. First one-time second team All Pro 1990. He's a 10-time Pro Bowler 1983 through 1992. He's an NFL All 1980s Decade Team member. He won the Bart Starr Award in 1991. He has 1,488 total tackles with 12 fumble recoveries, 7 interceptions, and 19 sacks. He's also a member of the College Hall of Fame and Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay, here we go. The 48th pick overall, defensive end from Villanova, Howie Long, Super Bowl champion. He's a NFL co-defensive player of the year in 1985. Okay. Two-time first team All-Pro, 84 and 85. Second team All-Pro, 1983. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 89, 92, and 93. He's an NFL 1980s All-Decade team. He finished his career with 84 sacks, 10 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, and he's a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Right? Linebacker, 51st pick overall linebacker out of Pittsburgh. Ricky Jackson. He's a Super Bowl champ, 5-time All-Second Team All-Pro, 84, 85, 86, 92, 93. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler, 83 through 86, 91, 92, 93. 4-time NFL Forced Fumble Recovery Leader, 82, 81, 82, 84, 86. He finished his career with 1,173 tackles, 128 sacks, 8 interceptions, and he's a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Here we go. Here's one of his partners, Sam Mills, undrafted linebacker out of Montclair State. First team All-Pro 96, second team All-Pro 92 and 94. 91 and 92. He's a 2-time All-Second Team Pro. 5 Pro Bowlers, a 5-time Pro Bowler. 87, 88, 91, 92, 96. He won the George Halas Award in 2004. He also was in the USFL, like Bruce Smith, like Warren Moon, like Herschel Walker, like Jim Kelly, like I said Bruce Smith already, Reggie White, right? Donald Trump owned a team in the USFL, the New Jersey Generals, which Herschel Walker played for him. Just a little background, right? So Sam Mills was undrafted, undersized, they said. He was only 5'9", linebacker. Small guy, right? First team All-Pro. Okay, I already named all that. So during that USFL, he's a 3-time All-USFL player, 83, 84, 85. He's a 2-time USFL champion, 84 and 85. And he's on the all-time USFL team. That says a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's still a pro football league at the time, but it's a step down under the NFL. And then you also had the Canadian League, CFL, right? But a lot of guys came from different leagues into the NFL, you know what I'm saying? Other guys that were notable guys that were also drafted in that draft was the first pick overall, George Rogers, Freeman McNeil, Kenny Easley, Hugh Green, and Dennis Smith. Okay, now I want to read a little article, or no, it's not an article. It's the Wikipedia 1981 draft, right? So let me just give a little background. The 1981 draft was the procedure by which NFL teams selected amateur college football players. It is officially known as the NFL Annual Player Selection Meeting. The draft was held April 28 to 29, 1981 at the New York Sheraton Hotel in New York City. The league also held a supplemental draft after the regular draft and before the regular season. So it was held on ESPN. It was 332 total selections in 12 rounds. Obviously, the league was NFL. First selection, like I said a minute ago, was George Rogers, running back. He was selected by the New Orleans Saints. Mr. Irrelevant from that draft was Raiders tight end Phil Nelson. The most selections by a team was 17 by the New Orleans Saints. The fewest selection was 8 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there's a total of 8 Hall of Famers in that draft. So I just read you, 6, One, two, three, four, five, six. So I named six. So who am I missing? Okay, for the first time, the top two picks of the draft. For the first time, the top two picks of the draft, running back George Rogers, selected by the New Orleans Saints, and linebacker Lawrence Taylor, picked by the Giants, were named offensive and defensive rookies of the year, respectively. So that was the first time that ever happened, right? Okay, so here we go. We got, like I said, first pick George Rogers, running back out of South Carolina. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. He was picked first. Second, like I said, Lawrence Taylor. Third was running back Freeman McNeil out of UCLA, and he was selected by the Jets. Next, Seattle Seahawks selected Kenny Easley, strong safety out of UCLA. Fifth was E.J. Jr. He was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, linebacker from Alabama. Sixth was Green Bay Packers Rich Campbell, quarterback from California. Tampa Bay Bucks with the seventh pick picked Hugh Green, linebacker from Pittsburgh. Eighth, like I said, was San Francisco 49ers Ronnie Lott, cornerback, USC. He later got moved to a free safety. The Rams with the ninth pick picked Mel Owens, linebacker, Michigan. The 10th pick was David Verser, wide receiver by the Bengals. He came out of Kansas. Keith Van Horn, offensive tackle, was drafted by the Bears with the 11th pick from USC. Number 12 went to the Baltimore Colts, and they drafted Randy McMillan, running back from Pittsburgh. 13th pick was by the Miami Dolphins. They selected David Overstreet, running back, Oklahoma. 14th pick was Kansas City Chiefs, Willie Scott, tight end from South Carolina. With the 15th pick, the Denver Broncos selected safety Dennis Smith from USC. 16, the Detroit Lions selected Mark Nichols, wide receiver from San Jose State. 17 was the Pittsburgh Steelers pick, and they selected defensive end Keith Gary out of Oklahoma. With the 18th pick, Baltimore Colts selected Donnell Thompson, defensive tackle from North Carolina. 19th pick for the New England Patriots, they selected Brian Holloway, offensive tackle from Stanford. Washington Redskins with the 20th pick selected Mark May, offensive tackle, Pittsburgh. With the 21st pick, the Raiders picked Ted Watts, cornerback, Texas Tech. 22nd pick, Cleveland Browns selected Hanford Dixon, cornerback, out of Southern Miss. The 23rd pick, the Raiders selected Kurt Marsh, offensive tackle from Washington. The 24th pick, the Chargers selected running back James Brooks out of Auburn. The Falcons selected Bobby Butler, cornerback out of Florida State. The Cowboys selected Howard Richards, offensive tackle, Missouri. The 27th pick, Philadelphia Eagles selected Leonard Mitchell, defensive end, Houston. And then also Neil Lomax was drafted 33rd pick by the St. Louis Cardinals, cornerback out of Portland State. Chris Collinsworth was drafted 37th pick by the Cincinnati Bengals, wide receiver out of Florida. With the 40th pick, the 49ers selected Eric Wright, cornerback out of Missouri. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out who the other two Hall of Famers that I missed that were also drafted. Because I only got 6. Oh, here we go. Russ Grimm, drafted 69th by the Washington Redskins, offensive guard out of Pittsburgh. And the last one is, we'll figure it out right now. Hopefully we figure it out. One more. Dexter Manley came out that year too. 119th pick by the Washington Redskins, Dexter Manley. Wendell Ray, Ricky Martin. Let's see. There's one more. Let's see if we can find it. Wade Wilson was drafted the 210th pick by the Minnesota Vikings, quarterback out of East Texas State. Let's see. Hmm. Let's see. I'll tell you right now. So yeah, Michael Singleton, Ronnie Lott, Howie Long, Ricky Jackson, Russ Grimm. Oh, Kenny Easley is a Hall of Famer. Oh, Sam Mills made the Hall of Fame. Okay, 2022, he was put in there. I didn't catch that on that other part. So Kenny Easley also was a. Let me give his stats because let's see if I can. So he was picked fourth overall. Like I mentioned, he played his entire career with the Seattle Seahawks. He was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1984. First team, four-time first team All-Pro, 82, 83, 84, 85. Second team All-Pro, 87. Five-time Pro Bowler, 82, 83, 84, 85, 87. NFL interceptions leader, 1984. And he was the PFWA All-Rookie Team, 81. He's on the NFL 80s All-Decade Team. He's in the ring. His jersey's retired by the Seahawks. He finished his career with 32 interceptions, 538 yards on interception returns, 11 fumble recoveries, 8 sacks, and 3 defensive touchdowns. There it is there. I don't know how I missed that part. Um, and then Russell Grimm was the other one. Let me give his stats. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, 4-time first team All Pro, 83, 84, 85, 86, 4-time Pro Bowler, 83, 84, 85, 86, NFL 1980s All Decade Team. He's 80th greatest, 80 greatest Redskins. He played 140 games played, games started 114, and fumble recovery 7. So that's a little bit about 1981. But like I said, when it comes to guys like Ronnie Lott and Lawrence Taylor, I mean, these dudes are like they're above everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You got, I mean, you compare somebody like a linebacker like Lawrence Taylor to Sam Mills or even Michael Singletary. They're different type of linebackers. Lawrence Taylor was a pass rusher. Michael Singletary was the captain of the defense. He was the one that liked to stuff the run. He was the one that liked, he'd be the one that on screen passes when the fullback or the running back would run a route, he would be getting them. You know what I'm saying? Or the tight end. You know what I'm saying? Different type of when you got the outside linebacker compared to inside linebacker. Mike Singletary was the one that was watching everything. He was the one calling the plays from the defensive coordinator to him, he would call it out, you know what I'm saying, to the guys on the field. He was the captain of the defense, pretty much. He was the commander on the defense, however you want to state it. Lawrence Taylor, on the other hand, was, like I said, a pass rusher, um, more of a defensive end, a defensive lineman, defensive end, defensive tackle. Guys such as Chris Dolman, Howie Long, Greg Townsend, Reggie White, excuse me. Also, Derek Thomas, he was another linebacker that was a pass rusher. Khalil Mack was a linebacker, but he could play the end and he could play linebacker. But he was a pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? But these two guys I just said, Ronnie Lott and Lawrence Taylor, they're on the all 75th and 100 NFL teams. That says it right there. You know what I'm saying? These other guys are all good players, Hall of Famers, but Lawrence Taylor and Ronnie Lott separate from anything else. You know what I'm saying? Anything and everybody else at those positions. Even though Mike Singletary for a middle linebacker, you're talking like Ray Lewis, type of things, but way before Ray Lewis's time. You know what I'm saying? And they just you're talking about guys that had to change, especially with LT. When the team would play them, they would have to you know double, triple team Lawrence Taylor. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it is what it was. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I haven't really looked when it comes to football. I haven't really looked at other drafts, but as far as like comparing it, like for example in basketball, you got the '84 draft, the 2003 draft, excuse me, the '84 draft, and the '96 draft, and the '03 draft. Those are the three that they're always talked about, right? And you can compare, All Star games, championships, this and that, and see what draft has more accomplishments, right? But what the NFL is a little more different, for me, I'm saying, but I think '81, from everything I've always seen and read about that year, as far as especially on the defensive end of the ball, that's like the top draft year for the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But Ricky Jackson is a good ass linebacker too. Sam Mills. They all had their special. Those guys that I named. Howie Long. They all had their own special uniqueness that they brought to the table. They had their own, techniques to play on the ball, off the ball. How to techniques to get in there to stuff the run, or you know to stuff the run or um, just the team would have to more prepare for these type of players when they would play that team. You know what I'm saying? Um, Ronnie Lott was a hard hitting uh, a secondary player. That's considered a secondary. Um, he started off as a cornerback, and then was later moved to safety. And right out the gate, he came right out winning. When he came to the Niners, winning the championship in his rookie season, the Super Bowl. Um, a four-time NBA, four-time Super Bowl champion. He brought that uniqueness again, that toughness that he got a piece of his finger, ripped off in the game, and he continued to play like that. You know, um, but after the game, and going forward, they wrapped it a certain way where he couldn't play like that. It was hard for him. So he suffered from the injury, but it just that type of injury and coming out and still playing like what Isaiah did, it just builds on your character and it makes you more of a standout. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and it separates you from the rest. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? When you can continue to play when everything else is not right. For example, when you can do it, get it done when others can't. You know what I'm saying? It says a lot. Um, so again, this is a badass draft. They did their thing. The teams they had a nice selection of players to select from, and they got it done. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, Big Lou gone.